Hello everybody, this is Marya here on YouTube, and today I have a very exciting book review for all of you guys. So this is so exciting. I have been waiting to do this book review for a while now. So today, and this book review is gonna be divided in two parts. This is the first one, obviously, and then the second one you'll see next week, I think it is. Today we're gonna be reviewing Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. So this is the first book, obviously, which is called Red Queen. And then the second book, which both of them are going to be reviewing today, is Glass Sword. Next week's video, you guys are going to be seeing the last two books in a novella. So let's just jump right into Red Queen. The book is pretty much the introduction of characters and the world and whatever's happening, and to a revolution of this world. So pretty much let me introduce you to the world as well. So this world is divided by type of blood. So you have two types: red blood, which are pretty much the slaves, and then you have silver blood, which are the people that have superpowers. You guys, there might be spoilers ahead, so I'm gonna put a screen that says spoilers ahead so you guys don't spoil yourself. So let's just move on. You get to meet Mare Barrow, which is our principal character. Then you meet Keelorn, which is her best friend. Then you meet her sister Giza. And you get to know a little bit about her family. So you meet her parents, and you meet Shade, Trade, and Bree, which are her older brothers. And I think the three of them are in the choke at the beginning of the book. And her dad used to be in the war. He lost a leg, so he's now at home. Her mom is kind of a crazy mother. She's funny. I really like her character. But anyway, moving on. So there are a lot of houses and a lot of powers in the silver bloodline. So let me just give you a few of the houses that we see in this book. So you have House of Rambos, which is brown and red colors, and they're strong arms. Then you have House of Well, which are green gardens, and they're green and gold. House of Osanos, which are nymphs, they're blue and green. House of Samos, which are they're magnetrons. They're basically move metal and iron. I think their colors, I don't remember them. I think it's black and something. House of Titanos, which are Oblivions. They make explosions. They're purple and silver. House of Heaven, they're black, and they are light manipulators, so they can pretty much make shadows and turn off the lights and stuff like that. House of Ural, they're dark blue and red, and they have superhuman agility. House of Jacob, they're yellow and gold. They're singers. They pretty much can control your brain, I believe. Yeah, they can control your mind through their voice and eye contact. Then you have House Viper. They're green and black, and they pretty much control animals. You have House Arven, which are white. They have negation, which is turning off. They're called silencers, so they turn off the powers of other silvers. And then you have House Calor, which are red, black, and silver. They're burners. Pretty much they control fire. You also have Whispers, which are mind controlling. And Telkies, which they can move things with their mind. So those are pretty much the houses, and a few of the houses and a few of the powers we see in this book. As two types of blood, and there is also, in the border between cities or states, whatever you want to call it, there is a place called the Choke, and this is where most of the war is happening. And you have to get conscripted. And for this, I think you have to be 17 years old. I don't really remember right now, but I think it is 17. And pretty much everybody that is not working or not being an apprentice of something important for the economy, you have to go to war whether you like it or not. And in the Choke, most of the people that are there are red soldiers. And then you also have a few silvers. But what's really important here is that the choke, I feel like it's pretty much an excuse to stop the red people from, the red blood people to, from making a revolution. And that's pretty much what I feel. I feel like it's the most stupid war ever existed on anything. But yeah, I just feel like that is what is happening. Spoilers ahead! Spoilers ahead! Spoilers ahead! So Mare here, at the beginning of the book, she has two situations that happen to her. So the first one is that Keelan used to be an apprentice for fishing, and his teacher died, so now he has to go to war. And Mare kind of goes crazy with this, and she goes to the Scarlet Guard, which is pretty much the Scarlet Guard is, what can I compare it to? Company that they are pretty much doing the revolution slowly. The work is getting done, but very slowly at this moment. And then Mare goes to Farley, Captain Farley, which is part of the Scarlet Guard, and she's pretty much like, dude, I need to get Keelan and I need to get myself out of here. I ain't going to war. I ain't doing this shit. So she goes there. She has to pay money for getting them out of there. And I think it's that same night that she meets a silver guy. So the silver guy ends up being Prince Call, which is the heir of the throne of House Calor, which is the biggest house, I would say, the most powerful house at this moment, because they're the ones in the throne right now. And they're the ones in the throne, they're the ones that control everything right now. So she meets Cal, and Cal ends up giving her a job at the palace. And she goes to this job to get the money to get Keelan out of there. And situations happen. So spoilers ahead, just saying. Situations happen here. So pretty much when she goes to work to the palace, there's this event of Prince Cal pretty much meeting every single girl of every single house and every single power there can be. And whilst he's getting introduced into all of them, Mare kind of ends up introducing herself without wanting to. It's not her intention to do it, and she ends up discovering she has powers. She's red blood, but she has powers as well. What happens here? The king, which is King Tiberius, which is the worst name ever. He ends up kind of letting her stay at the palace and be treated like a royal. He doesn't know what's happening, but he has kind of an evil plan in his mind for her, and he ends up making her disguise as a house, as well as a lost house, the daughter of two people of a lost house. And I don't remember the name of the house right now. I don't think I actually wrote the house name in here, but anyway, she ends up being like a princess and gets treated like one. But there's a little situation here that happens. So Call ends up getting engaged to Evangeline, who is from House Samos, which she can control metal and iron, and she's pretty badass. But she ends up being the one that Call is gonna be engaged to, or the one that Call is engaged to. And King Tiberius makes Mare get engaged with Mavens, which is Call's younger brother. And this is where everything happens, you guys. This is where life really gets hard. So let me just give you my points. Call and Mare's relationship, it's beautiful. I really like how it started, but my only problem here is that he is engaged to somebody else, even though they don't love each other. and Mare is engaged to somebody else too, even though at the beginning they don't love each other. Now you get to see Maven, and I love Maven. Honestly, he's one of my favorite characters. He's one of my favorite antagonists. Let me just give you my points into this. So pretty much Mare and Call's relationship is pretty beautiful, but it's kind of forbidden. Both of them are engaged to different people. They shouldn't even be kissing each other. Then you have the relationship between Mar and Maven, and that relationship is also beautiful. I think Maven is one of my favorite characters. He is so deeply flawed and he's so deeply disturbed. I love it. And I gotta say, Mare, I can relate to her in a lot of things, because I honestly, I would do anything for my best friend, and I would do anything for my family as well. So I relate to her in that way, but I think sometimes she kind of gets too over dramatic about things. You need to chill. Okay, you just need to chill. So I gotta say, this book really surprised me. This book really was different from everything I've read before. As soon as you see that Mare has powers, she pretty much gets manipulated by everybody else, and she doesn't really know what to do. I think she's too young to have the responsibility she has, pretty much being the face of a revolution to change the world of how it is. It's a big shoe to fill, and I feel sometimes Mare is not really aware of how big it is, or she's too aware of it and she doesn't perform right. But I really like this book. I think it's great. I think the relationships that you get to see are pretty amazing, how they evolve. I do have to say, Maven in this book is my favorite character. Again, he's deeply flawed. He's so freaking effed up in his head. It's amazing, honestly. But in this place, you get to see two different sides of being a prince. So you see Maven, who he doesn't have to have the throne anytime soon, so he's not that worried about the same things. His brother, who is the oldest brother, and he's the heir to the throne and to the country, he doesn't have to worry about the same things. And I think this is where you can see two different things. Not exactly two different things, but you can see two different sides of a story. At the end, there are situations that happen, other situations that happen that really make the revolution go into, like, go from 0 to 100 in a second, and it's amazing how that happens. I really didn't see that twist coming, and I was so freaking surprised. I was very well like shocked that could happen. So also you get to meet Maven's mother, who is a whisperer, and a whisperer is somebody that can control your brain and can pretty much read your thoughts and your past and your memories, everything. And she is very manipulative person, and she's not a good person at all. And she gets to meet Mare, and she starts controlling all of them, and it's just crazy. At the end of the book, you realize, oh my god, Maven was being manipulated by her. Everything makes sense now. This is all a lie. This is just crazy, okay? It's crazy, and I love it. I love the ending of this book. It's so amazing. Okay, now into Glass Sword, which is this one. This one is a lot bigger. Again, you pretty much see all the same characters, which are Mar, Cal, Maven, Farley. Then you get to meet new people like the Coronel, which is Captain Farley's father, and you get to see that in the book as well. And you get to meet new bloods. So Nix Marston, Ada Wallace, Gulliver, Kranz, Melody, Cameron Cole, Luther Carver, Nanny, Farah, Kira, Herrick, Ellie, Weasel, Tansy, and Metric. There's a lot of new bloods you get to meet in this book, which is why Mar tries to save them. And this book is pretty much the start of the revolution, and they start... You get to see other people that command the Scarlet Guard, and who is putting in the money for the Scarlet Guard, who is bringing in guns and planes and air jets. They're called air jets, but they're planes. It's the same thing. And you get to see... you pretty much get to start to see what goes behind a revolution, and it's pretty interesting. I thought that was fascinating. Maybe it was just me. Also, you get to see new bloods. You get to meet Nix Marston, Ada, Wolliver, Kranz, Melody, Cameron, Luther, Nanny, Farah, Keitha, Herrick, and there's other people also coming in this book as well. You get to see Shade, her brother. He is actually, spoilers ahead, he is actually alive right now, and it's pretty interesting to see their relationship, and it's pretty interesting seeing that pretty much he's the reason why she stayed this entire time with the Scarlet Guard. This book pretty much takes you in a journey where you see you can't trust anybody, not even the people that you're with right now, not even the other people. It's just, there's a lot of things that are happening. Now, in Red Queen at the end, spoilers ahead again, King Tiberius dies by the hand of Khal. So Khal ends up being a traitor, and he ends up being cast out with Mare. They're about to die, but the Scarlet Guard ends up saving them, and then you meet Shade. He's actually alive, he wasn't dead, and Mare's fine with that. So this is the revolution. This is the part where you see that you can never trust anybody completely. She doesn't trust the Scarlet Guard, she doesn't trust Maven, she doesn't trust anybody. And in this book we get to realize too that this revolution really has a lot going in. It's not just a few people going in trying to save the world. There's a lot of people behind it, and there are a lot of other states or countries or lands that are trying to get all of them together and get their weapons and get their air jets and get everybody together to make a revolution happen. And it takes 4 books to make that happen, but okay, we're just gonna roll with it. Book leaves me with so many more questions than answers, and they're being answered with King's Gate and also I guess with War Storm, but you get to realize a lot of things in the book. This is pretty much just them getting new bloods, and it's just pretty much it. The entire book is them getting new bloods and getting people to be with the Scarlet Guard, get a few secrets into the Scarlet Guard and their command, and who is running it, who is bringing things, who is the financial part of the revolution as well, because that's pretty important. You can never have a revolution without money. And also get to see new powers with the new blood. So you have lightning or electricity, which is Mare, strong arms, jumpers, which are pretty much people that can from the air can drop down, or pretty much teletransportation, I would say. Intelligence, pretty much photogenic memory, it's kind of what it is, and they're super intelligent with numbers, with everything. They remember everything in their life. You can change physical appearance, manipulate sound, explode objects. You have illusionists, gravity manipulators. There are eyes, they can see the future. You have skin healers as well, and high senses, which I don't really remember which one that is. You also have another few powers with the silvers, which are banshees. They can scream until they crack you on the inside. You have stone skin, which is pretty much nothing will hurt them ever. Then you have shivers, they can turn into ice, and then sounders, they can spit radio waves. So there's a lot of things you get to see here as well. a lot of powers and a lot of new houses of silver bloods. Now, in this book, and spoilers ahead, in this book, they're going in to save, I don't remember who they're saving. I think they're saving new bloods. But the situation here that happens is that Maven pretty much ends up with Mar in his hands, and he takes her prisoner, and then that's where King's Cage ends up picking up in. This is pretty much the book. It's the start of the revolution and what is happening, how they're getting people together, how they're getting money, how they're getting guns, how they're getting airplanes, and all these things that you need for this type of revolution. So I actually liked the book. I thought it was a little bit boring in a few places. Getting the new bloods was pretty interesting, but I do think it was a little bit slower than normal. I read it pretty fast, but I feel like the pace of the book was a little bit slow. I was just waiting to see action, and there wasn't a lot of action here. There's a few bits of action, but it wasn't that crazy. So that is the fact with this one. So pretty much it for this book review in the Red Queen series. I hope you guys like it. I'm sorry if it had a lot of spoilers. But really there's not a lot of things I can say if I don't have spoilers. But anyway, if you like this book, please leave me a comment down below telling me what you liked about it, if you didn't like it, and let's create a discussion about this book. So you guys, that is it for today. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel because it really does help me out, and I will be seeing you in my next video, which is next week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.